Max back again for another sneaker unboxing, and we're getting closer to the end of 2018. And the last time the Concord was retro was back in 2011, 7 years ago. The release date is on December 8th. I was lucky enough that a local boutique shop called Honor 23, they held a launch party a week before the general release date to give people a chance to own the shoe a week before the release date. And I was so lucky. Honestly, I never had any luck on Sneakers app or in-store raffle, but this time I was so lucky to get it. Even though it's not a very hyped shoe, but I was still so excited just because Concord it's the first shoe that Jordan brand put patent leather on the shoe. Let me get back to Honor 23. If you guys have been watching the sneaker shopping show done by Complex, that Cristiano Ronaldo did a sneaker shopping episode in Honor 23 Beijing, and it's the same store, but it's just their location in Shanghai. It's my first time going to the shop, and the shoe store setup has a lot of vintage look. It looks like an old coffee shop, and it has a bunch of Jordan 11 on display, all the previous year's retro, and the most exciting Jordan 11 I've seen in the store is a pair of Moses Malone Lakers colorway Jordan 11. So let's talk about the shoe. The Concord on the bottom, Concord is actually a type of grape, and this is the only Concord theme on the shoe, which is on the bottom, on the sole. The color of the sole, instead of the previous more clear sole, and the recent retro has been bringing back the more bluish clear sole, and I believe the reason is to prevent oxidation of the sole. Of course, the carbon fiber on the sole. There's three more distinct features of this particular retro that's different than the previous retro. One is the heel tab instead of the 23, and this retro has 45 on the back. And the reason was because the Jordan 11 was introduced in 1995, and that's after Jordan returned from his second retirement. And the reason he chose 45 was because that was his baseball jersey number, and how he ended up with 23 was because half of 45 is 22.5, and he just rounded up to be 23, and it has a lot to do with his dad. Second distinct feature of the shoe is the shoe box. Instead of the sliding type, in this year's retro, it brings back the OG type, the very classic type of box. It simply has Air Jordan on it with the Jordan logo. But in case you guys are worried about the shoe tree, each shoe comes with a Jordan 11 shoe tree, and the Concord, of course, is the Concord colorway. And on the insole, it has a Nike Air branding on the insole. And the last but not the least, we're already seeing it on the last year's Space Jam. The patent leather, it's much higher than the previous retro, and the patent leather occupied a lot of portion of the shoe. If you guys take a look at my 2011 bread, which I wear the shit out of them, and the location of the patent leather, it's much lower. And you guys can see the patent leather on the Concord is much higher than the bread. So the sneaker community has been complaining that all the retro Jordans bring back is not, the leather quality is different than the original, and the shape doesn't look like the original. And this Jordan 11 is a good example that Jordan and Nike are fulfilling everybody's wish that to bring back a retro that's as close to the original as much as possible, but still gives some subtle difference on the shoe that differentiates each year's retro, like the 45 and the box, etc, etc. So the Jordan 11 Concord, of course, not a very lifestyle shoe per se, but for sneaker enthusiasts, this is definitely a cop, and this is a keeper for me, and this will be on my shelf, and this shoe will definitely help me to tell some good stories to my kids and my grandkids. So this is a keeper. Anyway, I'm super excited to have these a week early, and I wish everybody can cop these for retail on December 8th. And as always, if you have any comments, just leave it down below. Give us a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next sneaker unboxing. Peace.